things like that for video games and various other shows. So it's just a lot of interesting, fun things all the time. I'm very lucky to be on.
Well, what's not easy is what you do on the Clone Wars, because you are the voice of all of the clones. And actually, for our audience, explain what it's like for you in the studio when you come in, and especially the clone-centric episodes, where it's basically just you for an entire episode. And if you have a scene with like 6 different clones, how do you differentiate all of the voices, like the rookies versus the veterans? Take us through that process.
Yeah, well, and actually there's more episodes coming up that are like that. Little teaser. I probably guessed that, but there are. Basically I try to set the tone of each individual clone, because I think their individuality is really very key to the interest of the story. And so they may be a little bit higher in authority. They may be a little more macho, hard, tough guy. They might be more of a newbie, maybe a little bit younger. And actually, Dave Filoni, our director, we kind of figured out this pyramid that sets up sort of it's like a grid in terms of experience, inexperience, and what was the other one? It was by the book, not by the book, something like that. And then we just kind of position each of the different clones along that triangular grid, and then that's how I would remember how each one kind of feels, because I want them each to feel differently. We tried very hard, and it's particularly noticeable maybe in our season opener for season 3, where the cadets are training, and then finally in the ARC Trooper episode that follows that one up, we want to keep those guys all sounding like individual soldiers. That's very, very important.
Which, just so you guys know, that was pretty much a one-man show. I mean, that was mostly D. Bradley Baker and D.
That was a lot.
Susie, I get to ask you questions all the time.
Yes.
But I thought I'd turn the table on our audience here and give them a chance to ask you a couple questions. So we'll bring up the lights here and raise your hands, and actually we'll bring the microphone over to you if you have a question for D. Bradley Baker. Actually, right over here. Okay. What's your name and what's your question?
You're asking that again, Ashley?
I know your name, but the rest of the audience doesn't.
I'm Ashley.
Yes, that's an easy one to remember.
Do we notice a lot of clones being killed off? Are you sad about Echo being killed off in one of the finales?
Yeah, it makes me very sad when they're killed off. I was very attached to the fellows in Domino Squad, and there's not many of them left at this point. And there's actually some episodes coming up. There's a good story arc that's very clone heavy coming up in the new season that was particularly difficult for me, to the point where I almost didn't want to go in and do it, because I didn't like what happens to the clones.
Oh.
That was rough. The war's rough.
Okay, do we have another question here?
Ask me anything.
Actually,
It
yes.
could be clone, it could be
Right here on the
anything.
aisle. Yes. Question right there. If you can tell us your name and let us know your question for Dee.
My name is Christopher.
Christopher, okay, what's your question?
Do you have a particularly favorite clone you like to do?
Favorite clone? I love Rex. Rex is kind of the center clone for me. But I also love Cut McQueen, because he's a dad and he's a family man. I really liked that episode. And I also got to say, my heart was really with 99, the Bad Batch clone at the beginning of season 3. I really felt very proud of that, and I liked that storyline a lot too. I kind of like the clones that are just a little different, maybe individual in their own way. Yeah.
Actually, that made me cry, Dee. 99. It made me cry.
Well, it's a well-written show. It really is, and I mean, it's easy for us to take credit for the characters that we portray, but it's also easy to forget that there's really an army of artists and technicians that are involved in creating each of the characters in any particular scene. So really, everybody involved deserves the credit for it, I think. Not just us, but I'll take the compliment. Thank you.
Oh, how about you? You, here in the back.
Oh.
What's your name and what's your question?
Hello, I'm Ben from California.
Ben from California.
Yeah, you gave it all away.
What's your question?
Very excited to be here. I'm wondering what you eat in space.
I eat space food sticks in space. And tang. Lots of tang. What else do astronauts eat? Or clones, for that matter.
You're very funny. I'm very nervous.
Thank you. Ben from California.
Wait a second, it's me!
Oh,
Arnold
Taylor.
Oh, I fooled them all.
Yes, actually the backstory behind this is I did an interview once. I actually got punked by James Arnold Taylor. I was doing an interview on air, live, and I got a call in, and Ben from California called in, and the joke went on for 5 minutes. And Miss Gullible, me, never figured it out. They finally had to tell me that it was James. So James, come on up.
ForceCast.
Join us.
James.